Hello, my name is Roman Gingiashvili, and topic of today's lecture is the greatest comeback in a World Championship qualifying matches in the history of World Championship qualifying matches. In 1994, I was offered to coach World Championship candidate Gata Kamsky. And I saw in Gata Kamsky, I thought it was superbly talented player, but he was he was very new on for a world championship scene. So I accepted this job, and we started preparing for a world championship match against Anand. Anand at that time was number one contender for world championship, and he was absolutely phenomenal player and was a big favorite in this match. In pre-match prognosis, they are predicting his victory with the odds like 5-1 odds in Anand's favor. And I remember in England, there were even a lot of bets taking. People were betting on Anand or on Kamsky, getting 5-1 odds. I was preparing together with Gata Kamsky every day, 7 days a week, for at least 10 hours a day for a while. And when we went to play a match supposed to be in India, that's another downside. But I remember we had a problem with a sponsor, and in India there was a sponsor that put up a lot of money for this match, and we had to play in India. In 1994 it was, and we went through tremendous opening preparation, but Anand was very well known at that time, opening guru, and he had whole bunch of grandmasters helping him and coaching him, assisting him. So we, on our end, all we could do the best we could. So match started. In the first 4 games was about an even score, and then Anand won 1 game, and Gata, I remember, lost very good position with white. And now he found himself 2 points behind in a short match with 2 games to go. So in other words, he couldn't afford 1 draw in 2 games. We changed the strategy of playing, especially for black. Gata played variation of Ruy Lopez that is relatively messy, and he managed to win the game. Next game, Gata was white, and there was accelerated Draken that we spent so much time to prepare for black. Therefore, we knew all the right ways to play for white, and Gata was white. So training with black and preparing it for black helped us great deal to play the same opening with white. And there was second victory by Kamsky. So match is even now. That was remarkable comeback. However, so we had one whole day, there was day off, and then following day, there will be a tie break. Tie break of 2 games with a short time control, but it wasn't a blitz. It was 25 minutes per game, 2 games. Now we know that Anand is psychologically unbalanced because he just lost 2 games and he's kind of down, maybe even depressed because of this. And we decided to get big psychological advantage to play an orthodox opening with a very, very unusual, unbalanced position. So I suggested the opening that I knew very well. I played many times. I had my own analysis in. But the downside was that Kamsky has never played in his life this opening, never analyzed any games played with it. So we had a difficult task. We had to make a choice. Decision we had to make is it worth to play opening that totally unknown to Gata in order to get unbalanced position where Anand has to make some critical decision at the board. And we decided that we're going to spend all day preparing this opening, and I was going to show everything I know and everything I analyzed with to Gata, and that will give us one of 2 results. Either we're going to equalize quickly if Anand decides to play very cautiously, which we didn't think will happen because here Anand is playing white and he doesn't want quick draw because next game he's going to have to play black. So we decided to play center counter opening, e4, d5, ed, knight f6, d4, knight d5. Now, specifics of this opening is this. One of 2 things going to happen. Either white will play very carefully, like bishop e2, castle, and then knight d2, the way some people played against me. And I played this opening against Anatoly Karpov when he was in his prime. And I remember I had no problem making a draw, especially good against very conservative players. But if white doesn't play conservatively, then we're going to get unbalanced position. And that's the kind of position we want, keeping in mind that our opponent is very nervous after what happened in the last 2 games of regular time control. After bishop g4, bishop e2, and knight c6, not frequently played move, c4, knight b6, of course it was analyzed by us, d5, Bishop takes f3, and g takes f. Now, g takes f was played against me by Judith Polgar. I played this, and I went knight e5. I showed Gata this game. He saw this game. He didn't believe Anand will play like this. But on the other hand, if white plays bishop takes f3, then after knight e5, white may play bishop e2, because taking on c4 is not good due to queen a4 check. But here, after c6, black has very comfortable position. Anyway, gf is very aggressive move, and we prepared for it. Knight e5, f4, knight ed7, knight c3. That's exactly my game against Judith Polgar, where I was black. I played here correct move and got very good position. Kamsky played inferior move because he didn't remember. We had so many different positions to go through and so much to remember. And let me tell you something. No matter what level you're playing on, you cannot prepare opening against one of the top players in the world in one day. We took this chance. I think it was calculated and very well justified, Campbell. So the correct move is e6. Kamsky played c6. That's not a good move. D takes c was played. B takes c. Bishop e3. e6. And even after the castle here, white has solid advantage. But what happened after queen c2, knight f6, bishop d3 was played. It's obvious that Anand wants to castle queenside. However, the correct move was castling short, going rook d1, and building the pressure in the center. Obviously, that he does want to play aggressive, but at the same time, after castle, he doesn't want to be attacked on king's side. So, mixed feelings was about this move. Bishop d3 was played, queen c7. And I was amazed how well Kamsky played from this position. Bishop e7, knight e4, knight takes e4, bishop takes e4. Here is the problem with white's position here. Strategically, they are doing well. Now, if we take the f pawn from f2 and put it on g3, white will have absolutely winning advantage. But here, after f5, which is perfect move for this type of position, after f5, bishop g2, and black castled. King side is absolutely frozen for white. Because of the pawns are frozen. And there is not much can be done on queen side. Pawn c5 can never move because knight has d5 square. So white has to find some way or show some activity. And neither one of these two bishops yet fulfilling its functions. So rook d3 was played here. And after rook a to b8, doubling rooks, and now c5. Now we see that both of white's bishops are neutralized completely. E3 bishop is looking at the wall of c5 pawn, and g2 bishop is practically, although it's very active, it's shooting blanks. And rooks are doubled on d file, but have no penetration square. So Anand has to do something, but it's very difficult to do something here, to get some constructive plan. He was also anxious for some actions. He couldn't, we knew he would have difficulties taking long positional maneuvering. And that's exactly the type of position we have now.